Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're really enjoying the jinn stories. We do share some from the UK and across the world, and most of the jinn stories that you listen to on this channel are given to us by you, the subscribers. So if you do have any jinn stories, feel free to DM me or send me an email with some information, and then I'll be in touch. So this story happened to one of our subscribers when they moved into a house when they were a child, and it's still happening. So some of these events are still happening. So without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into it. Here we go. When I was younger, probably about 14, I moved into a house in Manor Park, which is in East London. I moved in with my family, so it's my mom, my dad, two sisters and myself. And I'm the eldest out of my siblings. So when I moved into this house, I had my own room. My sisters, they shared a room, and my mom and dad, they had their own room. It was a 3-bedroom house. It was at the time, before the extension. Anyways, from the first day, weird stuff started happening in the house. And this house, we only found out that someone passed away in the room that I was living in. Well, I found out. I don't know if anyone told me, or everyone hid it from me beforehand, but I found out someone died in my room from a neighbor that was similar age to me. And he told me that, yeah, there was an old man that used to live in the house, and he died just before. And because he lived by himself, no one knew that he was dead for about 2 weeks. So he was dead for 2 weeks, and then they found his body. So that already gave me the chills, and I literally found out like a few days after moving into that. But from the first day, I've noticed something like off about the house, just weird things. And on top of my, like for example, on top of my room, like the door that is the entrance to my room, there's like this window, and the window lets light in through the passage. So if you can imagine a door, and on top of the door there's like a small little box window, which is a rectangle actually, and it's the same width as the door. And what I noticed is, as I was falling asleep one night, I was just looking at the window, and I see a figure looking into my room. But I was falling asleep at like that point where, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but just before you fall asleep, you either start seeing not random things, but like you start thinking of random things, and you're like, why am I thinking about that? Or you start like feeling like you're falling, or that sense of falling that usually happens around that time when you're just in between being awake and asleep. So I just was so tired, I just saw the figure for like 2 seconds, and then I just fell asleep. Thought nothing of it, but it still gave me the chills when I woke up the next day and I thought about it. I was like, what was that? So anyways, outside my room, I saw like black marks outside my room, and it was on the carpet, and the carpets was fresh. This was about a week into living in that house, so the carpets were fresh, and there was marks outside. And my mom was blaming me. She was like, what did you do? Why did you put marks on the carpets and that kind of stuff? And obviously I knew that wasn't me, and it was a weird substance. It was like black marks. It looked like ink, but it wasn't ink, and there's no reason why ink would be there. And it was quite a lot as well. So I was scrubbing it, cleaning it, but whatever I did, it wasn't coming off. And I told my mom that I don't know what it is. I've tried to scrub it off and it's not coming off. So we had to end up changing that patch of carpet. Anyhows, other weird things started happening as well. Like for example, one time I was so if you imagine the layout of the house is, when you come into the house, the kitchen's on the right and the staircase is on the left. And if you go further up, it's the sitting room and the dining room. So I was coming from the sitting room and the dining room and going upstairs. So as I would have gone upstairs, the kitchen would have been on my left and the staircase would have been on my right. So with my peripheral vision, I saw my mum in the kitchen, and she was just doing something. I don't know what exactly, but like she was just putting something away, I think. So I saw it in the peripheral vision, and I turned right and I went up the stairs. As I went up the stairs, I see my mum again in the staircase landing, folding some clothes. I was like, I swear I saw you downstairs. And I ran downstairs, and then I went into the kitchen and there was nobody in there. So just weird stuff started happening to me. And I asked my sisters if they saw anything, and they were like, they haven't seen much, but they just feel really weird in the house. I was getting dreams in the house. I was feeling a certain way when I was falling asleep. When I was in that room, I felt this negative energy. And it's one of them things that you can't put you can't say solidly that that's how you're feeling, but you just get that weird feeling. So it's very subjective, I guess, and it was subjective to me, so I thought nothing of it. Little did I know that my sisters and that were actually just having their own experiences, but they weren't telling me about it. So one day me and my sister, we were watching TV downstairs, and when we were watching TV downstairs, we heard noises upstairs, and the noises were coming from my room. So when we heard the noises, it was just me and her in the house. And when we heard noises, I went upstairs to have a look, and I couldn't hear anything. And then as soon as I came downstairs, I can hear noises again in my room. And the noises were like ruffling paper, like ruffle of the paper, like someone going through my stuff, that kind of thing. Again, I went upstairs in my room. Nothing's been touched, nothing's been moved. And I opened the drawers up. The papers looked like they were where they meant to be. My school books and everything was exactly where they were. So I closed up the drawer. I went downstairs, and I carried on watching TV. About 30 minutes later, when I came back upstairs in my room, my drawers were all open. My drawers, every single one was all open. And I just remember having that dread feeling that just came all over my body. I was just like, oh my God, I 100% did not leave the room like this. And it started making me second guess my sanity. I was just like, I'm leaving something here, finding it somewhere else. Or did I leave the drawers open? I wasn't. Do you know what? Like, it's hard to explain, but you start second guessing yourself, and you're like, oh, maybe I did leave it open. But then I'm 100% sure that I didn't. So it just confused me so much. And I was quite young at the time. I was like 14. So I put it down to just me being either like misremembering something, or I don't even know, to be honest. But one day, when I knew that there was definitely something up with that house, is the day that I saw an entity. And so at this point, just to give you a bit of context, the events in the house was happening for about 6 months. And at that point, I used to sleep with the door open. I was scared to sleep at night, so the passage lights were always on, the doors were always open. And so if you open the door in my room, you can see my parents' room, and if their door's open as well. So it's kind of facing opposite. So when I'm lying down in bed, I can kind of, if the door's open a little bit, I can see what's happening in the other room, or if the door's open and whatnot. So my parents, my dad used to work, and he used to work quite late at night, so he was never home. My mom was always downstairs. And what happened was, one night around 10:30 in the evening, I went into bed, and the door's open a little bit. The passage light is on, and my mom and dad's rooms doors open as well. And I'm just looking through that little through that little gap of the door that's open, and I can see someone in the room, and I can see a figure in the room. But again, I'm not sure if my mind is playing tricks on me, or if I'm actually seeing a figure. It's not moving. It's just like a silhouette of a shadow. I'm looking at it, and it starts suddenly moving. It's in a sitting position, and it starts getting up. And I'm looking at it now, and I know it's there. I can see, it's like a void of blackness. It's so dark and black that you can see the other darkness around it, so you can still see the figure. It's just absorbing every single light that comes onto it, and it just has its own kind of color, because it's so void of color or light. There's no light bouncing off it, nothing. It's just a void of black. And it comes up to the door of my parents' room, and it slams it shut. Bam! just slams the door shut. And I got up, and my sisters, they come out of the room because they heard the door slam. I came, and when I heard them come out, I came out, and then I was really upset. I was shaking. I said that there was a person in the room. There's a person. My mom came up. And then she was like, she opened the door. She went inside the room. And there was nobody there. But because everyone heard the slam, and because of what I said, we then got the assistance of imams and like Islamic people to have a look into the house. I'm not sure exactly what they did, but after they blessed the house, the issues started to become less and less and less. I mean, to this point now, I've been living in that house for maybe, God knows, like probably like nearly 20 years, like 15 years, and I've never had any issues like that ever again, although certain times we do have like weird little things happening, but it's never been as extensive as that. And yeah, and that's my story. So guys, if you enjoyed that story, make sure you give a thumbs up to the video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. I am going to be making a lot more of these jinn stories, and as well as true crime. So if you are enjoying this kind of content, make sure you sub to the channel. And I'm trying to improve my storytelling on a video by video basis. So as I'm getting better with the storytelling, you'll see a lot more improvement in the videos and the structure of the stories. But I am also getting the stories from you guys and saying it as though it's me that's encountering it. So it's a learning experience for me. But guys, I do appreciate the like and support and the subscription. So thank you very much. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. Peace.